Hi, this is Andy. Welcome to GCrafter. Today's challenge is to design an end table in less than 5 minutes. So let's get going. First, we're going to create a new project. We'll call it end table. We're going to use a CNC. Our metric is the preferred units for this. Nope, actually I'm going to do inches. It's easier for me to intellectualize inches than millimeters. And 48 inches by 40 inches, that's the material we're going to use. 1/2 inch thickness, we can change that later. So let's keep going. We got a box. First thing we're going to do is change our dimensions. So we want this to be 16 inches wide, and we want it to be about 22 inches tall. Now we know we're not going to need the front, so we're just going to click on that, and we're going to turn it off. We're going to turn off the back, and we're going to use the bottom. But with the bottom, what we're going to do is we're going to set that at 15% of the way up. We're going to move these guys in so that they are 90% of the way out. And that makes this piece, we only want that to be 90% width. Cool. Now, that's still just kind of a box. Well, let's make it a little more elegant. What we're going to do is throw on some curves on the top here. 1 inch radiuses, not bad. And we're going to throw some curves on the bottoms of these guys. Let's say 1 inch on the left and 1 inch on the right. Oh, wait, wrong button. Here we go, radius. 1, 1. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. 1, 1. Starting to look like something. Now we don't want these things, these sides, to go quite as far as that. So we're going to make those 80% of the width and 80% of the width. Now we got a little problem with our bottom here. So we're going to bring this down to 80% of the width. Oh, the width. Wrong button. And make that 80% of the width. Nah, 40% of the width. Nah, 60. Yeah, that's better. Okay, not bad. Let's cut some holes inside. We're going to bring this into PartLab. And we're just going to draw a rectangle. Let's make that 6 inches wide and 14 inches tall. Let's add some curves to it, maybe 1/2 inch. Didn't hit that last one. There we go. Now, set the action here is by default set to subtract. So anything you cut that's red, it's going to subtract from the outer part. Not bad. Let's do the same thing. Let's copy from the other side. And look at that. That's starting to look like an end table. I don't think I want the fingers poking through. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the top up a little bit so that the fingers turn out to be cut as pockets rather than punching all the way through. So what we're going to do is we're set absolute position. I'm going to press the A key here, and that allows you to add or subtract any amount from any input field. So I'm going to say we're going to go up 4 millimeters. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing on this support piece here, but we're going to do that in a different way. So there's a feature called edges, which allows you to extend or retract any part without changing its relative center. So I'm going to pull back the edge by 6 millimeters and 6 millimeters. Now in the beginning, we set this to be, switch back to absolute or relative positioning here. And we originally set this to be 1/2 inch, but what we actually want to do is make this out of 18 millimeter plywood. So we set that to 18, and you can see all the fingers and everything, all the parts and dimensions adjusted accordingly. So let's explode it. We can take a look at the inside here. You can see there's the pockets. They're not cutting all the way through. And those fingers are a bit weird. So I think what we're going to do is go back to the finger tab here for a second, and we're going to change the length of the fingers. Yeah, I think that'll go together nicely. That'll glue together nicely. Okay, next step, let's take a look at our layout. That looks not too bad, but we want to make 2 of these to go on either side of an end table. Now, that's not great. We don't want the pieces rotating. So we're going to go to our layout settings here. I'm going to turn off allow rotation. That looks like a great pack. I can get that cut in a Saturday afternoon. So let's save it right here. That's going to force me to take a screenshot. Not a very good one, but we'll take another one in a minute. So next step, we're going to jump into Photo Studio and we're going to do a rendering. Ooh, wrong button. Okay, so we're going to update the thumbnail. No, don't want to do that. Let me come over here. Let me adjust this to a better position. And then we're going to update the thumbnail. Okay. Now we're going to tell the AI exactly what we want to do with this thing. So place this end table on either end of a sofa in a modern living room. Boom. Let's see how it does. Doesn't always get it right, but let's see. I can live with it. Save, close, save. Let's just update the thumbnail. All that's left is to click export, choose your preferred file format, SVG, DXF, PDF, whatever. Take it to your CAM software, create some toolpaths, a couple end tables in an afternoon. Thanks for watching. Head on over to GCrafter.com, sign yourself up for a free account. If you want to make things like this, you're going to need the pro level, but if you just want to make basic boxes, that's what free's for. Thanks for watching. See you soon.